All right, grasshoppers, we are live. It is Thursday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Hope everybody's doing well. Nobody on here yet, so I'm talking to myself. That doesn't matter. I like doing that. I've talked to myself quite a bit. Um, what? So we may be having a guest on here, an old teammate of mine. I won't say his name because I don't want to embarrass him in case he does not get on. He's got an event coming up. I played with him in Los Angeles. He also played here at the Rangers. You guys can maybe guess who that may be. But got a big event coming up in Vegas. I think in a couple weeks coming up. So somebody's there. I got one listener so far. Who is it? Who is it? Jill, how are you doing? You magical creature. Hope you're doing well. So again, just to be clear, so I said this already, but nobody was on when I said it. So I guess nobody's there to listen to it. So if I'm talking when nobody's there, am I really making any noise? That's a good question. So we may be having a guest come on here today. Again, I do not want to say his name because I don't want to embarrass him in case he does not come on. He's got an event coming up in Vegas. I played with him in Los Angeles. He's also played here for the Rangers. So again, I won't mention his name because I guess he does not show up. Another one of those IT challenged ex-hockey players. How's everybody doing there today? Jill, Chris, Christine Brown. Hola, Christine. Susan Brooks is here. Ira's here. Who else we got? Kathy is there. Great to see everybody. Larry Melnick. Oh, look who's here. Look who's here. Larry Melnick. Oh, no, where'd he go? So Larry, I've been on a roll lately with all these questions. People put stuff on Facebook, and I put Larry Melnick in on every opportunity. No, Chris, we're going to have to reprimand you here. So I did not. So how do we know that I did not play with Marcel Dion? There's your question right there. How do we know that? Good guess, though. Go ahead and keep guessing if you want. I actually got traded for Marcel Dion. So, yes, Chris, you silly creature. Susan Brooks is up there too. Playoffs are coming around. We should get Susan on to do a show. Give her playoff predictions. Brooks. Susan River. Somebody called Swift Current out in Western Canada. It's called Speedy Creek. Larry Melnick knows that. So warm day here today in Greenwich, Connecticut. Very warm. Been running around, got the truck cleaned, went to Costco, made a batch of homemade hummus. That's right, homemade hummus just now before the show. When is Mel coming back? Well, see, it's a communication thing, so Christine, so you know. So what happens is, Larry, I can only, and there's reasons for it. I understand now, but I can only communicate with him on WhatsApp. I thought that was for like teenagers and everything, but that's apparently something that other people use. So that's where that's at. Larry Melnick. Well. Hey, Mel, when you come back? Okay. So what do we got for predictions here? Lorraine, how are you doing, you magical creature? Yes. So do we know yet who the Rangers are playing in the playoffs? Is that all lined up? Susan will know. She'll tell us. Well, Mel. Hey, Ira, settle down. I forgot to post anything. I was up in Newington, Connecticut on Tuesday night as a hike, getting up there. Good group of kids, though. Good program up there. One run by the Johnson family. That's right. Yeah, they run the program up there. I go, the Devils. Oh, they played. We do know that the Rangers are playing the Devils. Or Susan's saying, no, we don't know. Okay, so we don't know yet. I'm sorry to do this to you, but if Susan says we don't know, we do not. Chris confirms that we do not know. Oh, hold on. Here comes our guest. Here's our guest. Hold on. The great, one and only, Bernie Nichols is on. What's happening, brother?
Not much, Tommy. How you doing?
Not much. Where are you today? It's sunny and everything?
We're just going. Yeah, well, it's 28 right now. We still got snow, obviously, and we still got ice. But the last couple of days have been nice. It's actually supposed to be on Monday, but we're taking advantage of it right now.
All right, everybody. So everybody knows this is the great Bernie Nichols. We played together in Los Angeles. Played for the Rangers, Devils, Oilers. Who else did you play for?
Blackhawks.
That's right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Retired
in San Jose.
That's right. Should be in the Hall of Fame. Is not there. We went through this before talking about his numbers, and he's got the same numbers as a guy like Dan Elferson who got in there. So we're starting a new campaign. So Bernie has got a big show coming on. You're in Vegas. What's the date of your event?
May 1st through the 4th.
Okay. And celebrities like is Dukes and Sarah Palin, are they going?
You know what? Dukes couldn't come, I guess, and I'm not sure because Kim Alexis is coming.
Oh, I saw that. That's
So,
right. That's Ron's
yeah, so
old wife. Yeah.
that's right. So then all of a sudden now Duke's got another gig, he said, so he couldn't come. But now I'm not sure he's going to let Sarah come. So Sarah's going to bail on us. So I'm pretty sure Dukes is responsible for both the ladies not coming.
Oh, Dukes' dating life. Oh, getting in the way of charity event. So what's this event for? Raise money for some charity?
Deborah Canada. It's and I can't even pronounce the name of it. It's like it's a skin disease where your skin doesn't it won't stick to your body. Like one guy there, he had 2 kids born with no skin from his knees down.
Wow.
And I think we had a player in Ottawa, I think one time that had that. It just, if you get cut or something, it just doesn't heal.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of a very painful disease. And we've done this for the last couple of years. So we tried to give to them.
Perfect. So it's May 1st to the 4th. Tons of celebrities, right? So name some of the other celebrities who are coming.
Marty McSorley's coming. Great Marty McSorley. Hank Haney.
Mm-hmm.
Hank's going to come, and probably Mark O'Meara's going to play a day of golf. Greg Maddox, Matthew Barnaby, and Brad May are coming.
Oh, that'd be entertaining.
Couple crazy, Gary Lehman, John O'Hurley's coming.
Hey, Bertie, we've got a volunteer here. Larry Melnick says that he could go to the event.
Oh, I love Larry. Yeah,
I know.
I did some hockey stuff with Larry. Yeah.
Yeah, you should put him up on stage there. Let him talk.
One of the fights I get in my career was with Larry, and he showed his 2 kids. We're doing an event together, and I don't know what happened. We're in Edmonton, and we were by the bench, and Larry was hitting me or something, so I start hitting him. I start swinging at him, but he ain't doing anything. He's just taking it. I just backhand him right in the head. Well, little did I know, I think it was Brian McClellan or someone had a hold of him, and he couldn't move. I thought I intimidated him so bad he wasn't going to fight with me.
Oh,
I guess that wasn't the case.
That's funny, definitely. So people can still go to this event then, right? They can play golf with the celebrities and everything?
Yeah. We're doing 2 days of golf. We have a poker night on Tuesday night. Okay. That's always fun too. So 2 nice golf courses, Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday. So they get to play 2 rounds of golf. And we have an auction on Tuesday night.
Oh, cool. You auction off an hour. You auction off an hour with Larry Melnick. Like that should be one of the prizes you could buy.
I think that'd work.
Right.
Last year we did Gretz, right? He donated a round of golf. So there was actually 2 groups that bid on it. So we took them both. We went to Michael Jordan's course in Florida. We played 9 holes with one group. Had lunch, went and played 9 with another group. So,
very cool.
There was a group from Edmonton there that you could just imagine, right? Like getting to spend the day with Gretz. It was pretty special. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Imagine having an hour with Larry Melnick, right? Like your life would look really rosy and everything because of how grouchy he is, right?
Well, I think you would, I think Larry would warm up after a little bit, though. Seeing how, it's for a really good cause, and
that's true.
He'd be able to handle everybody.
That's true. Maybe some PBRs.
Anyways, there's not much difference between him and Gretz as far as fame, right? So they're used to that shit.
Do you know they did a book in Edmonton there going over all the players that have ever played for the Edmonton Oilers? And there was one guy that played for the Oilers who was not in the book. That would be our buddy Larry Melnick. Yep. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So
that
Larry,
sucks.
I know. Yeah. And I don't like to bring it up. I don't like to rub that in a little bit.
No.
But, so the events in Vegas, if you've been paying attention at all, Larry. So Bernie, how can people find out how to get there, like to buy tickets and everything?
BernieNicholsFoundation.com. Nope, sorry. BernieNichols.com. I got Amanda here. She kind of runs that, not me, Tom. Okay. BernieNichols.com.
Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you again. You're going to be in Vegas, are you?
I am.
Definitely.
She's playing.
Nice.
Golf.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's BernieNichols.com, and that takes you to everything.
Good.
People can sign up. People can donate. They can stay in Staying in a real nice place, the Virgin Hotel. 2 golf courses are really nice.
Good.
So should be fun.
Good. Now, are you still eating steak? Remember your pregame meal was always a steak?
Always steak. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember you would tell the waitress, she'd go, wipe up its ass, pull off the horns, and put it on a plate. That's don't cook it for.
Well, I don't mind it a little rare, but I don't mind the blood in it, just not cold.
Right.
It was Bobby Carpenter had it cold in the middle.
Oh.
I couldn't have it cold, but bloody I don't mind.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so one more time, BernieNichols.com. The event's from May 1st to the 4th. 2 days of golf, charity events, lots of auction items and everything. So a good time. Good guys out there. Like Barnaby's got quite a personality and everything. Marty McSorley, got great stories and everything. So be good.
Marty's awesome.
Yeah, good. How's he doing health-wise? Did he get new hips and all that too?
Oh, he's got hips, knees, he's got everything, and he's doing real well. Like Marty's awesome, but he had both hips done.
Wow.
So JR's coming, Ronik.
Oh, cool, nice.
Forgot about JR. There's a character in itself right there.
Yeah, definitely.
One and only.
JR, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So one more time, guys, before we let Bernie go here, it's May 1st to the 4th in Vegas, BernieNichols.com to get tickets, donate money. It's a great cause that they're raising money for, too. So good to see you again there, brother.
Thank you, Tom. Good seeing you, bud.
See you, Amanda. Good seeing you again.
See you, Tom. You too.
You too. Bye now.
Bye.
All right, the great Bernie Nichols. What a character he is, too. What a great player. And again, like I mentioned, he should be in the Hall of Fame. No disrespect to other guys like the Daniel Alfredson. I mentioned him because he just got in. But his numbers, Bernie's numbers are better. So hopefully he gets in at some point there. He had a great career. Fun to play with him, too. Great personality. Remember a lot of good times to him. So, yes, Bernie did score 70 goals. So I tell the story, and yes, I do tell stories over and over. Actually, we did a podcast yesterday with Mark Howe, Gordie Howe's son. And we brought this up. Wayne, when he got traded to Edmonton, or from Edmonton to the Kings, was about to tie, then break, obviously, Gordie Howe's record for points. And we were gone on the road, and Gordie Howe wanted to be there. So he was traveling around with us. And Wayne had a couple of games, I think, where he didn't score points. So he kind of got stalled. And as luck would be, he ended up in Edmonton to hopefully break the record. Should be tied, break the record. So we had a 4-on-4. Each team had a penalty. They had Paul Coffey, Charlie Huddy, Yuri Curry, Mark Messier on. And for our team was Bernie, who scored 70 goals that year, Wayne Gretzky, and Steve Duchesne was a great offensive player. And they kept me out there as the defensive guy. So we've got Edmonton pinned in their own end, and nobody's watching me because, well, I'm not going to score any goals. So, of course, I'm in the slot, and Wayne gets the puck to me as you know he can. And I go into panic mode because now I know that if I score this goal here, Wayne will get the assist, and that will tie the record for Gordie Howe. For Wayne, which is a big deal. I go down in history with my name involved in it. So I'm panicking. And Bernie was off to the side. He was a great athlete. I think he was getting tied up with Charlie Huddy. And I passed up Bernie, and he tipped the puck in. And it looked like this some brilliant play that I made. It wasn't. I just was trying to get rid of it. And finally worked out. So funny stuff. Bernie and I were laughing about it. I mean, again, we watched the video like, wow, that's a great play. But it wasn't really. Who gave Bernie the pumpernickel? That's a good question. I don't know who gave him that. So Bernie scored goals. He would do when he put it like down on one knee and then kind of swing the arm around and everything. So good guy. Let me see. Yeah, let me see what we got going here. Any news on Rangers fan zone for the playoffs? Some of the kids last year. It'll be in that area. I don't know the answer to that, but we can find that out. I can post that for you. But it'll be. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in that same place that we had last year too. So those are fun. Those things. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We may be doing we're going to try to do a podcast, one of our Full Change podcasts down. We're thinking different locations. I think it's a Radisson Hotel, a couple blocks from the Garden. They've got a place called Versa, their restaurant, and they have places where you do podcasts, right? The podcast booth and everything. So we're going to see if we can get in there. Here is our little buddy. Yeah, little buddy Tommy Smith, our producer for the Full Change podcast. He explains pumpernickel. See, he does this because he wants to get his name on up on the screen here. So I'll give him his due. He explains pumpernickel Full Change. That's right. So Bernie was on. Great interview with him, and we went over all the numbers and everything too for him making the Hall of Fame. So again, the Full Change podcast. You can get that podcast on all podcast platforms. And please, when you do that, write a comment, follow us, like us. just because I'm a wonderful human being, despite the fact that Tom's on. And we don't want any comments about Tom's hair. All right, he's got the bald on the top and the long on the sides, but we don't want to talk about that, especially publicly. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, I think that is correct. Please leave us a review. That's right. Please leave us a review. So these are things I'm learning with these podcast things here. So, we don't know yet. I don't think, John, we went through this before. I don't think we know yet for sure that the Rangers are playing the Devils. Or are you talking about just the Devils, how they're going to do? So again, I don't believe we know the Rangers are playing the Devils. The Devils are a good young hockey team. The one thing you wonder, it could work both ways. Sometimes with a young team like that, they're just oblivious, so they go and play well and don't worry about the pressure because they don't know any better. Or sometimes the pressure can get to them. But they're good. Let me see. We could do, that'd be fun. We don't do a keg though. I don't do beer. Get some tequila. Get a couple of cases of tequila. This place in highly encouraged. Funny, Danny Erickson. I thought, yeah, again, Susan Brooks is confirmed, and I go by her. She says so. That's it. Well, okay. Remember that logically you'd think that, right? But remember, what is it, like 4 or 5 years ago when Tampa was a great team and they lost in 4 straight in the first round to Columbus. So you say that Boston's had a great season, but a lot of times that doesn't matter once you get in. Dougie DeVito, how are you? You magical creature, you. How is it going? It's excellent. So I've said to a few people, I watched this video recently, and the guy was trying to send a good message that, live your life all out. Don't just work all the time until you're 65 and then start having fun, because then he says at 65, your body stops working. So that incensed me. So I've been on a mission here. So my birthday's on Saturday. No gifts needed. Well, tequila maybe. And so I turned 65. So I've been on a mission. I post a lot of videos of working out because I want to show that's just not true. Don't give in. Don't stop. If your body will stop working if you stop working it. So, okay. Roll the dice for the postseason. Yeah, you know what it is. Obviously, goaltending is a huge thing because you're going to have some off games and goalies can steal. Not getting injured, trying to win the series in the fewest games possible. That hurt the Rangers last year. They had those 7-game series that really drags on. Because again, the regular season games are intense, but a playoff game is way more intense. So you have to play 2 or 3 more games than you should on each round. It tallies up again over a short period of time. So let me see. Yeah. I think you just told me to take a vacation day tomorrow. But yeah, I don't know how I did, but okay, you could do that. Oh, I see what you just live life. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a fine line, right? Because you got a family and you want to be successful. You got to put your kids through school. You want to live in a nice home, but have fun at the same time, right? Again, you're still got to work, but you have weekends, nights. Live your life all out. Does Boston play Allmark every game? Wow. Does Boston play Allmark every game? Swayman also had a terrific season. Yeah. I don't know how they look at it. Like, I don't like that platooning of goaltenders in the playoffs. I like going with one guy. I mean, if somebody's just not playing well, then you got to rethink that. But pick the guy you want and show him that he's the guy. So even if it's a bad goal in or has a bad period or bad game, you can't have the feeling that you're just going to get yanked every time it doesn't work out well for you. So yes. Now, would I bet money on it? No. But the Islanders have great goaltending. They have a real solid defensive system. Yeah. So Danny, I missed that. You guys were famous. Yeah. So we beat the Flyers 2 or 3 times in the early 80s there when they had great teams. We were talking about that with Mark Howe when we did the podcast, the Full Change podcast yesterday when we taped it. So yeah, that's the thing with playoffs. It's really, it's always like you see certain teams do. They'll have a guy like a 4th line player that all of a sudden gets hot and scores a lot of goals. Chris Kontos was like that. John Druce was like that way back with Washington. So those kinds of things happen. You can't predict really, who's going to step up, who's going to play bad, who's going to get hurt. Yes, this is pretty interesting. So it's 1994, all 5 teams in the playoffs. So the 2 basketball teams? 2 basketball teams and 3 hockey teams. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's good. Yeah, good stuff. All right. So again, guys, we just had Bernie Nichols on here for about 10-15 minutes. He got his event May 1st to the 4th in Las Vegas. You can go to BernieNichols.com to get tickets, find out information, donate money, all that. And we also have our Full Change podcast that is up and rolling. We've done about 40 shows so far. We were ranked. They have a ranking, this chart thing, Chartables, whatever it was. And of all the podcasts, there's I think thousands of them, hockey podcasts in the United States. We're up at 34th, so things are going well. That's learning more and more, doing having more fun with it. Really interesting show. Some of the stories of guys. So we get guys on that have show how they talk about how they got to the NHL, what happened to the careers, and a lot of it, what happened after. Just great stories. Again, Mark Howe was fantastic yesterday. A lot of great stories talking about his father, and that was to have Gordie Howe as your father. But I'll tell you, he was really like an independent guy, really motivated. I didn't realize he was quite the motivated guy that he was. Like his goal was, well, I'll let him talk about it on the show, but it was really interesting to have him on. So let me see here. Let me see. Why do the Rangers always feel that the need to make all series sub games in their contests for causing? Man, I know. Well, yeah. I mean, you want to finish it off. I like that. Last year, the role they were on. Yes, it was too bad they had to go to those 7-game series because it really tired them out. But the heart that they showed, because there were some games that just wasn't going well for them. Shesterkin didn't start off great. Lindgren was out of the lineup when he came back and he was hurt. I thought he really helped a lot because that people were like, well, if he can come back and play the way he's playing when he's hurt, then we can certainly play harder too. So they, yes, you'd like him to not go 7 games, but you also like them to be scrappy and fight back the way they did last year. I love that team last year. It should be the same this year. Again, the good thing is they've got those top 6 forwards. They're fantastic. Another year under the belt for K'Andre Miller. He's getting better and better. Shesterkin, if he plays the way he can, he should be the best goaltender in the league. So, yeah, they feel good about their chances. But again, you've got Carolina, you got Boston, you've got the Islanders. Who knows? You get in a series against them, the way they play defense and the goaltending they have, that's tough to score. The Devils are a young, scrappy team. Tampa's still there too. They're not what they were, but they've got guys that have won the cup, been in the finals and all that. So. Be some good hockey. And I don't necessarily, sometimes people say, well, geez, you don't want all those, good teams getting beat out in the first round. Well, to me, every round there's still a lot of good teams. It's not like there's going to be no good teams left in the finals. So every series, like I like it when even the first round series are 2 good teams going back and forth. Yes, it's unfortunate for one team and one fan base they're going to lose. Like let's say the Islanders and Rangers, Devils and Rangers do play. Well, the Devils are a good team, had a great season, but if the Rangers beat them, it's probably going to be a great series. And again, it's unfortunate for the Devils that they lose, but also you want to have every series throughout the playoffs to be entertaining. So NHL playoffs have gotten better. Like they're one of all the sports out there now. Like the difference between the regular season and the playoffs, it's just like, wow, good stuff. So, well, that's here's the thing though. Kane has won 3 cups. Tarasenko's won 1, I think, in St. Louis, right? But it's just, I would be, I could say we argue, yeah, okay, Tarasenko's play better, but come playoff time, when you need big goals, a guy like that's been there before, like Kane has. So I hear what you're saying totally, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Showtime. Kane's a playoff guy. He's called Showtime. So that's the thing. You're going to need that kind of guy. And listen, there's lots of them, on this team now. Kreider, I still love his game. I know he's frustrating sometimes for people, but Kakko outside. Yep, it'd be nice if we did that. I think that's where he's at right now. Hughes is a great young player, but who knows? Yeah, get going. Kakko's getting better and better. Yeah, Kane won't be passing sometime. Yeah, well, what it is. He'll do what he has to do to get points, to make the team better, to help their chances of winning. He's done that. He's matured a lot over his career. He played a lot of big games, obviously playoff games, world championships, other stuff. So I would think that he would be there big time for them. So, okay, what we got here from why won't the NHL ever do continuous overtime like the playoffs? The OT is much better than playoffs. I hate OT in the regular season. You hate it, do you? I see. I like this excitement. You can't, probably because like the players, I mean, we start going into like 3 or 4 periods of overtime in a regular season game. I'm guessing that's something that's negotiated with the Players Association. I don't think they'd want that. The risk of injury, if you continue to do that over and over throughout the regular season, would be good. But I hear you. But I don't mind the overtime in the regular season. I think it's kind of exciting. I think the players have got smarter. Obviously, they know they can circle back and then come with speed. The penalty shot thing, I still think is kind of fun. So I hear you. I mean, there's always want to improve things, but Ira. Yes, I was on Survivor. You could let the Jonathan playing his final game. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Good point for Susan here. Good. Yeah, he's had a great career too, right? Man, 3 Stanley Cups, all the stuff that he's done, the leader and everything. And you're right, definitely a Hall of Famer for sure. I see. I'm agreeing with Jill here. I kind of like the 3-on-3. It's 5 minutes. It seems like there's hardly any face-offs. It's just go, go, go. Quick change. You get all your better players out there. Yeah, I don't mind at all. And sometimes those overtime games, those long overtime games in the playoffs, they can drag on too, right? Because they get into a real defensive mode and nothing's happening because neither team wants to give the other team a break. So it isn't necessarily. Yeah, but sometimes it'd be really exciting. But which team do I think will come out of the West? Well, I'm a huge Nathan McKinnon fan. I don't know his status. Is Makar back playing? I can't remember. If he's not back playing, that really hurts them a lot. I like that team. Again, they've won. They know how to win. I think they upgraded their goaltending from last year. I've just not. Vegas has got a good hockey team. I've said this publicly a few times. I'm just not like an Eichel fan. For something just missing in him, the character part, skill player totally. So I don't know about Vegas. Could be a team like LA. Edmonton's right there. Is their goaltending good enough? You know what? I would have to go with Edmonton. Anytime you get Connor McDavid and Draisaitl and they're motivated to win. They heard their comments last year that after they lost in the semifinals, they said, well, that's great, but we want to win. That's what we're here for. And I think McDavid's just another year better, scary as that may sound. So I'm going to go with Edmonton. I think they're a good team. But, Colorado's good too, but it's going to be some good hockey out there. Again, the hockey out here in the East is going to be fantastic. Every round should be good. So, yeah. Yeah, that's, listen, the Boston's obviously, they set a record, right? About 63 wins, most in the NHL ever. So, yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about Dallas out there, Jay. You're right. Strong. Yes. Very good. Very good point. I keep forgetting about them for some reason. I didn't watch them play that much. Yeah, I think that's a real compliment. Thank you. Yeah. I love the kid. Yeah. The one thing I keep saying, I wish he was bigger because he could punish more, but doesn't seem to bother him. He keeps going. He won the player award too. And so I won that a couple of times. That was a huge honor. The player award is obviously voted on by the players. So they're saying you're the guy, like, you're not saying you're the best player. You're kind of like the unheralded player that doesn't get a lot of credit. So when you get that award, that's a huge thing. I won that a couple of times, and that was a huge honor. So, good job by Lingman. It says a lot about not just his abilities, his scrappiness, but the way his teammates view him in the locker room, and playing through injuries and all that stuff. So, let me see here. Sounds like a coin flip of West with the Eds. I would say so. Yeah, I would. So is the Oilers, Colorado. I put Vegas. LA's a good young team too. But. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. But it was good hockey. Yeah. When does playoffs start? Fox with Lindgren isn't. Yeah. Lindgren makes Fox. I think he gives him the freedom to go and be more offensive, is what it is. Because he knows he's going to be back there. And they did that when you play together, you got that chemistry. Sometimes it just, not that the players are bad, it just doesn't click, that chemistry. But clearly those guys have chemistry. Trouba and Miller have chemistry. But I mean, you should be able to play with anybody at the National Hockey League level. But you do get more of a comfort level with certain people. So, but during the game, there's always injuries and penalties and stuff. So you got to be willing. You got to know that you can play with other people. Playoffs don't turn to the 17th. Wow, that's interesting. Oh, interesting. I remember they used to start like early April, or like the 6th and 7th and stuff like that. But, let me see. Yeah. Laidlaw talks his career down, but player award proves. Thank you. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I remember when you first get it, you're like wow, I remember the feeling when I first won it. It was a real honor. And I'm such a smart aleck too, so guys are giving it to me. Yes. Yeah, it was fun. I was hanging out with your neighbor last night. Thomas Matthews. I was hanging out with your neighbor last night. Who was my neighbor? Thomas Matthews was hanging out with my neighbor. Huh. Oh, Gresh. That's right. Gresh. Yes, that's right. Gresh was at the game. Yeah. Big Ron Greshner. Let me see here. Yeah, I would think unless he just does not play well, but he's the guy. I think that he's the kind of guy that you want to play every game during the regular season if you could, but you can't. He has to get rest. But yeah, he's going to play all the time. I mean, there are those cases where maybe a game gets to be a blowout one way or the other, and you want to rest him a little bit. He's been playing a lot of shots. So, and that's the way the Rangers are designed too. He's going to get a lot of shots against, a lot of high quality opportunities against. That they're designed that way. They're coached that way. That's the way. Chris Drury, that's why he picked Gerard Gallant as the coach, because he wants that style of play. It's up and gunning. Let's go win 7-5. A 7-5 win is the same as a 2-1 win. So let's go get it done. And I think with Shesterkin, it's hard for another team to get 5 goals on him. So that's the issue. Let me see here. We'd love to see Quick versus LA. I think Georgiev versus Igor in the finals. Yeah, could happen too. Yeah. And Georgiev, imagine how fired up he'll be. Right? I don't think he's ever mad. I would think he was thinking that Shesterkin was better. I mean, Shesterkin's a better goaltender. Doesn't mean that Georgiev is not a good goaltender. So, my goodness. S&D, his neighbor, Peppy. Oh, Pepper. So Pepper, yeah. Oh, notice was sent out today. Greenwich Place, our condominium complex, sent out a notice regarding the dogs. Yep, got to be tied up all the time. Got to clean up the little poopies the doggies make. And if there's constant barking, that needs to stop. Don't leave your dog out on your deck barking at people. So I liked it. Didn't cover the Pepper. Like, you're not supposed to tie up your dog and leave them in public spaces. Pepper does that. But he doesn't. She doesn't do it, or he, or whatever she is. Yeah, I agree. I've said this for a long time. I love the way Gallant coaches. Some of the worst things is for me is the conference is still a big thing. It doesn't matter if you're making millions of dollars and you're playing in the National Hockey League. Conference is such a big thing. And if you're a skilled player, especially if you're a skilled player, you got to know that you can go out there and try something and it fails and you're not going to get benched and the coach is going to yell. If you're giving it 100% effort, you're working as hard as you can and you make a mistake, the big thing with Gallant is, and that's why he was so successful in Vegas early on, was that those young kids knew they were going to get back on the ice. So they tried things. They created opportunities. That's the way he coaches. He wants you trying to go score goals. And listen, ideally, he'd like you to play better defensively than they do. They give up a lot of quality offensive opportunities, but that's the way they play. And they've got the world's best goaltender. So there you go. What do I think of Miller defensively? Oh, well, I mean, he's still a young player. So, yes, his game will get better. But, again, the game has changed so much, too. Yes, you would ultimately want to be better. But a lot of defensemen now, including Keandre Miller, their job is to get the puck out of the defensive zone as quickly as possible. Carry it out, pass it out, whatever you have to do. That's good defense in today's National Hockey League. Yes, you still have to play defense, but the more the puck is not in your zone, that's how you're playing better defense. The teams just don't have a chance to score because you've done that. So, that's definitely the way the Rangers play. So let me see. Yeah. We're fair with today's game. Herb would adapt. That was the thing about Herbie. He adapted. He wasn't the same with his Olympic players as he was with us. He was a master at knowing the players, knowing what made them tick. Yes, he was good with strategies, but he put people in the right position and played them at that position. The opportunities during the game. Mine was the defensive killing penalties. As we've told, he didn't want me holding the puck very long. He wanted me playing defense, and then he rewarded me if I was then saying, "Okay, I'll play the game you want me to play," but then he would reward me by playing me in those opportunities. He was brilliant at that. So he was good. Let me see here. Nice mental health show. With Rich Gabberty. We're filming our Mark Howe for our full change. That was the only time he could do it at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. So we do that. But yeah, that show's popular. It's a lot of fun to do. So we'll get that back on. It'll be next week with Rich Gabberty, him butchering the English language. So I'm not saying you're wrong in this statement, but that is the National Hockey League now. It's not like for us when we played, it was like, no, one defenseman always stays in front of the net. Again, there's more pressure. He's a great player, Keandre Miller. I know it's easy, especially when it's a player in your team and you watch them all the time. It's easier to pick apart their game. But I'm sure if you watch Colorado all the time, and I'm not trying to compare him to Makar, but Makar does the same thing. The defense that the players play now is different than the defense in the past. And it's, again, it's get the puck and get it out of their zone as quickly as possible. So it's a different game. Here goes a loaded question right here. How would Ted Sater, hold on 1 second. Where is that question? How would Ted Sater? He wouldn't. he wouldn't fare in any in any era of the National Hockey League. Not a good coach. Let me see. Let me see. What do you think about leaving guys between you and your goalie alone to screen to you? The rules have changed a lot. So in the past, when guys come to the front, it was a war zone. You could do anything you want to do, cross check and do whatever you do, get out of the way. You're limited now. There's hooking and holding penalties. Yeah, you would like to clear out the front of the net so the goaltender has a clear shot, but you can't really do much. Ideally, you'd like to get to him and box him out before he does get there, but it's tough to do. You don't want to leave that area either. So, let me see here. What do you think? Does Sullivan or Laviolette get canned? I think if Sullivan gets canned in Pittsburgh, it's more just let's make a change. I think he's a very good coach. He's had a great record there. I wouldn't pin it on him as the team not making the playoffs. I guess since Sidney Crosby's second year in the league, I wouldn't pin it on him. I think he's a quality coach. But again, that doesn't mean he won't get fired. They may be saying we just need to make a change because at some point they're going to have to change that team over. But it's hard when you get Sidney Crosby in your team. You can't really, tank. So they say you've got to. I mean, it's Sidney Crosby. You got to keep trying to get the team in the playoffs and have a chance to win. Now they may determine that they're so far away from winning now that we got to do something. They're never going to trade Crosby, that's for sure. Could they trade Malkin and Letang? Maybe, but I don't know who'd want him. Salaries now too. Let me see here. What I think of the. Oh, we had that one already. Do you think that Pittsburgh and Capitals are now going to be down and out for a while? It's tough. I mean, you got those big contracts, and you got the cap to deal with. One of the things is I would think with Hextall and Burke there running Pittsburgh that they are they're doing a better job of drafting the proper players and now developing those players. That's the key to it because you are going to have those older guys, but if younger guys like quality players are coming in underneath, look at the Devils. That's what they did. But it's tough for them. They're paying the price now. Pittsburgh is for having this success that they had in the past, right? So it's hanging on. Like they had a choice. It was last summer, right? I think with Malkin and Letang, they had a choice. They could let them go or they agreed to sign them. I mean, if you got Sidney Crosby there sitting there going, okay, are you giving up? Like if they're sending the message to Crosby, okay, we're not going to try to win here for a couple of years because we're going to rebuild. I mean, that's probably what they should do. But when it's Sidney Crosby sitting there for the things that he's done for the organization and championships they've won largely because of him. I mean, they're all great players, obviously. It's a tough thing to do to rebuild when he's around. So, let me see. Yeah, Schneider's a good player. See, he's the kind of guy that come playoff time, like having him as like the fifth or sixth defenseman, banging bodies, moving the puck up quick. He's got a good shot. He steps into the play once in a while. I mean, those are the kind of guys you don't want to play against, right? I was watching an old series we played against the Kings in my first year, and I remember they had I can't remember who it was. They had a big physical forward, and all the coaches for the Kings wanted me to do was go out there, get the ice, hit him every time I could. And I remembered it because I was watching the games, and I did. I thought I had one thing to do: hit him. And you could see he got to the point after a while. It's like, oh my god, because he wanted to be the one hitting, and I wouldn't let him do it. And it was fun watching it because I remember the coach was talking to me. Yeah. Let me see here. Yeah. So, like most guys like me, you got the exceptional players, the Wayne Gretzky's and Mark Messier and all those elite players. They're definitely going to make adjustments. For me, I made it because of my stubbornness. Like I said, I'm going to play in the National Hockey League, so I did what I had to do to play. So I would do the same thing now. Training methods be different, eating be different. All the things that these players now have available to them. The knowledge of training, like I didn't know how to train my core, didn't know what the core was. So yeah, the people that make it generally at that level, it's again, talking to Mark Cow, it was really interesting hearing him talk too. It's that he had made a determination that he was going to be great. And he just didn't want to play in the NHL. He wanted to win the MVP and he wanted to win the Stanley Cup. That's the way he talked. And it's more the heart and the desire than, force you. When you go back and you're looking, you're a kid coming up and then college and all that, there was lots of players that were better than me. I'm sure the players are better than Mark Howe. It's that we'd made a determination that we were going to play. So we did, we sacrificed things. We didn't do some of the stuff that the other guys were doing. And then we got to play. And it's funny when you go back to your hometown or whatever, you see some of those guys you played with and they're like, oh God, why didn't I do what you did? Like, but it's when you're a kid, you don't know any different. So, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, I hope there's something negative. I mean, a lot of times there's all these hype about these young guys, and it appears he's the real deal. But yeah, there's a ton of good players out east already. So, but at West too, you look at all the great players there too. Do I think, Deb? It's a great question. We discussed it earlier there too. It's really hard to tell, right? It's very easy. We talked about Tampa 4 or 5 years ago before they won the Cup the year. They had the great team and then lost to Columbus in 4 games in the first round. So it happens. I think you go in thinking, okay, this is obviously we're the best team in the league. So we're playing the worst team that's made the playoffs, supposedly. That the kind of logic. So you think, okay, we just need to go on the ice and play. Fine. So you don't do those extra things. You don't do it by the book. You still, come playoff time, you have to do the little things right. So when you're carrying the puck out of your zone, you get to like 10 feet inside your blue line, you've got to guarantee that puck gets out of the zone. Even if you have to bank it off the boards to get out. If you have a turnover in those places, that's where it's really dangerous for you again. So those kinds of things in the game, if you think you're better than the other team and you think you can get away from, those little things, that's what hurts you. And then all of a sudden you start to lose a game, you lose your confidence, the other team starts feeling better about themselves, and now all of a sudden one game turns into 4 games, you're out of the playoffs. So, but I think Boston, they built such a culture there, like with, Patrice Bergeron, for example, with him being in the locker room, the character person he is and the things that he's done in his career, you would think that he's going to make sure that the team's ready. Very often it's the guys in the locker room that get the team ready. The coaches have to, discuss the X's and O's and all that, put the right people on the ice, but it's the leaders in the locker room that make sure that the team is ready to play. And they've got that, right? As much as we don't like Marchand, the stuff he's done, he's a leader there too. He's a vocal guy. He's a competitive guy, and he's kind of cleaned up his stuff where he doesn't do the licking anymore. So that's good. Let me see here. Thomas, did you ever delay for fixing broken glass and want to throw the ladder? Funny. Ira, you're such a funny guy. Let me see here. It's nice to have a healthy stretch of defensemen, but that are more than capable of stepping in. Yeah, because you are going to have injuries. It's a guaranteed fact. Players get hurt in playoffs, blocking shots, whatever it is, and you have to have those depth players. At all positions, but I think it's really good when you have it at defense, because to have guys that are not experienced, are not confident, that's tough in the playoffs, man. You step in there and you're not feeling good about your game. Let me see here. What we got? Any chance the NHL rigs the Bedard draft so an unexpected team gets no chance. They would do that. I know the logic. It may look like that sometimes, but no way the league does that. Yeah, the ramifications, if they ever found out that they did something like that, would just be too much. So, and they don't have to do that. Yeah. I mean, who knows? The way they have it set up, it isn't a guarantee just because you're the last place team you're going to get that pick. I mean, look at the Rangers. Some of the stuff that they've got done to them for them. So, does the Devils' lack of playoff experience matter? Does playoff experience matter? It could go both ways. If you're a young team and you're just oblivious to the pressure, you're not because you don't realize you're under pressure. You're just playing the game. You're having fun. Bunch of young guys. I was kind of like that my first year when we went that long run, went to the semifinals. You just play, just go. Like I said, the coaches wanted me to bang this guy all the time on the other team, and I should say that's the wrong term to use, to hit the guy on the other team. And that's all I did. And so, but again, now if you're a young team, the pressure starts to mount and you feel that pressure, then it can work against you too. So, let me see here. Susan Brooks, you magical creature. Was it hard playing against playing the last game of the season and nothing in the line? It is. I mean, it's not hard. It's just like, you've got to get yourself ready the same way. You got to prepare yourself the same way. Go try. You get hurt sometimes. If you're not prepared and playing the game right, you get a chance of getting hurt. I had a couple of times my second and fourth year in the league, I think it was, Herb Brooks decided he wanted to rest me the last game, which kind of made me mad because I would have played every game up until the point where I ruptured my spleen. Like, I would have played every game my first 4 years in the league. And I think sometimes he did it just to get to me too. So once it happened, the streak from playing all the games had gone anyway. So let me see here. What do we have? How about those Winnipeg Ice round one? Have you? They got swept. They did get swept, or they swept. I haven't heard that. Oh, and James was kind of, I'm not saying worried, but he was telling me that the team that they were playing, it didn't have a great regular season record, but they had a lot of young players that have really improved over the year. So, let me see here. What do we got going on here? Fellow Grasshopper, keep away from prayers as she's fighting cancer. I'm sorry to hear that, Tom. Tony, we will definitely keep you in our prayers. Just tell her to be positive, right? I'm a firm believer. I know there's medicine and everything like that, but make sure she stays positive and tells herself that she's going to beat it, right? To actually use those words, look in the mirror, and say, I am going to beat cancer, right? So if she wants to contact me, have her direct message me. We'll talk about that too. I firmly believe that. Again, I don't want to downplay the all the medicine she's got to take and every procedures and all that kind of stuff, but the mental part of it too. She can keep herself positive. That's a huge thing. So, all right. They swept. Oh, they swept. James's team swept. Okay, good. Yeah. Ooh, that would not be good. Deb sending positive message. Yep. All positive. We will beat cancer. All right. So we're all going to cheer for Tony's wife and pray for her and say that we are beating cancer. You've even got Ira on your side. So that's something right there. All right. Tell her that Ira Matthews, the one and only Ira Matthews, is cheering for her too. So, oh, my pleasure. We'll all be there for her. Get a whole team, all the Grasshoppers. All right. Yeah. That's a tough one. But again, everybody around her has got to stay positive. She has to hear that positive message constantly being fired at her, right? That you're going to beat it. You're going to beat it. You're going to beat it. Right. Yes. Okay. So, 65 on Saturday. Man, 65. And again, the mission is to get better and better all the time. Same thing as with Tony's wife. We can talk ourselves. We can tell ourselves anything. We can do it. If we tell ourselves we can do it, we can. If we tell ourselves we can't, we won't. All right. All right. It's warm outside. It's a birthday weekend. It's 65. I think I need to have a couple of days to celebrate. So we'll wrap it up in case anybody has some more questions. Yes, I like everybody's pulling for Tony's wife. Good job. Oh, look at Ira here. He's a funny man. How's the book coming? Want me to spell check it? You know, here's the thing with the book. I'm glad we touched on this before I go. So I wanted the book done like a year ago, but I've been so fortunate to be doing so many things in my life and meeting so many interested people. I'm kind of glad that the book was not done because there's much more to add to it. Actually, the book will be different now than it was a year ago. Now, at some point, we got to cut it off and get it done. But it's also been, you know, again, I've been so lucky to do all the things I've done. So, it's I hope it's a different book now too. So, all right, Tony's wife is Yelena. Excellent, Yelena. We are all praying for you, and we're sending positive messages to you. Okay. All positive stuff, Yelena, right? We're going to beat this. All right. Good job, everybody. I like how everybody jumped on board there for Tony and his wife, Yelena, too. So let's keep that going, all positive messages. Even when you're not with them, just be thinking about Tony and Yelena and saying, all right, you're going to beat this. You're going to beat it. All right. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Happy birthday, Tom. Keep moving.